Thank you for coming this morning. I want to tell you a little about myself. My name is Scott, and I usually work with clients that are going through change. But what can I call you?
My name is Angela. You can just call me Angela.
Awesome, that's good to hear. So before we start our session today, I just want to let you know that everything we discuss will stay between us. It's all confidential, so no one else will ever know about this and what we talk about, unless you have potential of harming yourself or others, or if any children are at risk, then I have to report it. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That's good to hear. So usually when we have these orientation sessions, we usually have a list of questions that we want to ask the clients to get a better understanding of who they are and where we can start from there. But I just want to start off by asking you, what brings you here today?
I guess it started when my partner and I broke up, but we were together for about 12 years. I was never really sure about the relationship. It was always kind of rocky. And I guess my drinking has increased because of that, and ever since then. And there's just a lot of, what ifs going on in my head right now. I'm 39, I'm not getting younger. It's kind of that time in my life where it's kind of like I have to I don't have any kids, and it's one of those things I've always regretted not doing, and having a lot of guilt over that. And so just all these kind of factors adding up, I've just noticed a lot of changes in myself, and my drinking's increased, and yeah, I'm just struggling in general.
Okay, I understand that. So let's talk more about your drinking. You're saying it has increased over time. Is it more of a daily or more often throughout the day? Let's tell me more about that.
I try not to do it every day. Sometimes it's hard, but I find when I do drink, I drink a lot, and I really makes me feel like awful, and then the next day I always regret it, and I always say I'm never gonna do it again, and then of course I do, which then makes me feel like, kind of puts me into like a bit of a depression as well, because I don't feel like I have control over it, and I find that when I do drink, it gets kind of out of control, but there are days that I don't, so I guess that's positive.
Okay, well, thank you for being very open about your troubles and your drinking. So perhaps you think the issue is drinking, that you want to see change from these sessions?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's my way of coping with everything that's been happening in my life, so and it probably is not the healthiest coping strategy.
So yes, I'm just going to do a little summarization of what we've talked about so far. So you've recently broken up with your husband after 12 years. You're turning to drinking now that this is such a problem because you might be upset because of the breakup, and you're explaining that your life is very chaotic right now, and you're regretting that you don't have any children to worry about because of this. Am I on the right page here? Are we in the same ballpark?
Yes.
Perfect, that's good to hear. And you mentioned that you think the big issue is you want to focus on your consumption of alcohol, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So I totally get that this is this is a tough time, and it's very stressful knowing that a lot is changing within your life that may have not been expected, and you're turning to alcohol as a way of handling your emotions and handling your feelings. So I know this is a very scary time, but I just want to ask, throughout your life, what has been a scary time within your life that you've been scared?
I guess when there were times when I was with my partner that I thought we would break up, and we didn't, and that's kind of was one of those rocky things, so I guess those times scared me. Also, when I drink a lot, it kind of scares me how much I drink sometimes and how often, so I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but yeah.
Okay. Have you ever thought about trying to stop your alcohol consumption? I know it's hard to quit cold turkey right off the bat, but have you ever thought of previously lowering the amount or like going days or weeks without any consumption?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to quit altogether, and I find I'm just not able to manage everything in my life, like all the guilt and the feelings that I'm having over, my breakup. And it was like over a decade long, which is a long time in my life, and kind of makes you feel like you wasted your time. And not having kids when I'm almost 40 years old is also something. So I just feel like drinking is the only thing right now that I can do to kind of cope with that. I guess that's why I try to go days without drinking, because it makes me feel like I have a little bit of control over it. But yeah, I guess sometimes I don't think I do, though.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that. I'd like to ask, what is important to you in your life? If you're willing to share.
My family. I have some siblings that I'm really close with, and I like spending time with them. Yeah, my family, I guess.
Okay, family, that's always very important. So we'll go back to alcohol consumption, because I know that's the area you want to focus. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important do you think making this change is within your life?
I'd say probably an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
Do you care to explain why an 8 and not a 1 or a 10?
Well, it's important to me because I'm noticing like changes in myself, and changes that are not good changes. I don't like how much I'm drinking, and how like gross and guilty I feel the next day, and how, I guess, just like how much control it has over me. And not a 10, I guess, because there are times when I don't drink, and so I feel like it's not a problem. But I've also noticed some distancing with my siblings. They don't like when I'm drinking a lot, so that's a problem for me. It doesn't make me feel good either. So I guess it's important because I want to be able to maintain those relationships that I do have.
Okay, that's good. And I should have mentioned that 1 is like bad, 10 being like high, like you really want to make the change.
Right. Yes.
But you caught on, obviously, so glad we're on the same page there. So to me, it really seems like there's a lot of good reasons that you're bringing forward that why you should make this change, right?
Yes.
Okay. And also, it's very important to know that like labels are not important. So like, I hope you're not assuming yourself to be like an alcoholic or always depending on alcohol, because labels are not very important to anyone. But do you know how alcohol affects the body?
I know how it makes me feel, and I know how, like it makes you feel drunk and kind of out of yourself, kind of puts your worries out of your head, kind of thing. But then has like a very negative effect on you the next day, and then also kind of can become addictive, and your body can kind of become in withdrawal from it at times.
Exactly. You said everything I was going to tell you. Like, are you trying to steal my job? That was phenomenal. So yeah, obviously you drink in the moment and you feel like you are the king of the world. You feel like you're on top of the world. But then once you get more and more alcohol in you, you start feeling a little sloppy and you can't remember things and who you are. And then the hangover is one of the worst parts. So you're not feeling who you are at all. You feel like you're just bleh the whole time. So yeah. Yeah, so I don't know where to go now. Okay, so we gave a scale of 1 to 10 about how important making a change is. So how likely, on the scale of 1 being bad, 10 being high, how likely are you at stopping alcohol consumption?
Like stopping altogether?
Altogether, yeah.
Probably a 1 or a 2. stopping altogether.
Yeah. So what if we were to make a plan and like reduce the amount per day or per week compared to now, out of 1 to 10?
I mean, if I want to change, I guess I have to start somewhere. So yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. So you think like a 5, like in the middle, like a likely.
Yeah, let's do 5 or 6.
Okay, that's pretty good. So do you have confidence in yourself that you think you are able to make these changes for yourself?
I think I'd need a plan, and like someone to probably keep me honest and keep me in check. Maybe that could be one of my siblings that I'm close with.
Okay.
But I'll definitely need support probably.
Yeah. Okay. So when you consume alcohol, do you consume alcohol independently or with others?
Both, but usually independently, usually by myself.
Okay. Do you know why you're not always with others when you consume alcohol?
Well, like I said, my siblings don't like it when I drink a lot, so I try not to do that with them. And I find that when I drink a lot, so I'm not, like if I go out, I'm not able to drive or anything, so then I have to find a way home, and that costs more money, and so it's sometimes just easier to sit at home. And I don't always want to socialize, I just kind of want to drink, so.
Okay. So let's go back to the plan that we talked about previously, about like making a plan of how we can reduce the amount of alcohol consumption. So do you think there are some things you can currently do to reduce your intake currently?
Well, like I tend to buy beer is my drink of choice, and I tend to buy like a 2-4 at a time or a 30-pack at a time. Maybe I could buy like 12 or something to start instead, or a 6-pack. Yeah, it might limit how much I have available to myself.
Totally. I like hearing your ideas more, because I feel that's going to make it more effective in the long run, because you're thinking of how to adjust these changes. Yeah, that's totally right. Having less available by hand could make you consume less in the moment. Do you have any more ideas that you could think of that could help you minimize?
Maybe if I go out more, I might drink less because I don't want people to see me when I'm so drunk. I also used to really like doing like crafts and stuff, so maybe I just need to do something else other than drinking.
Okay.
Find something else.
Like use a hobby as more of a turn to. I like that. So I'm going to summarize again, because we've gone on and talked about it a little. So we're coming to the consensus that the main focus you want to handle is your alcohol consumption. You want to change, you think you have a high importance of changing the need of alcohol consumption, because you see the change being important. You see that maybe a goal could be having, or part of a plan, could be having less alcohol in your household, and maybe using another hobby to turn to instead of consuming alcohol. Am I right where I'm going so far?
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. So you mentioned, you said when you do go out, you feel kind of bad when like people see you drunk and stuff. Do you feel you are like stigmatized when you drink?
By the people who know me, probably, yeah. They know who I am without alcohol, so then to see me kind of so out of control might be stigmatizing, yeah.
Okay. No, it's tricky. Do you have anything else you would like to share about your situation?
No, I think it's good. I think this is like the first step. I think I just need to really also like focus on the other issues. And so like drinking is how I cope, but like what's the issue, right? Like I'm sad with my partner and stuff, that's not gonna change. So I think just finding other ways to cope with that, maybe through hobbies and stuff like we said. So I think this is the first step, but I'm happy with that.
Okay. Do you have any further questions?
How many times do we meet?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, for the first bit, we could meet weekly to figure out creating a plan. And once we have a plan created, we could reduce the times we meet to bi-weekly or monthly, just because you'll have a plan to focus on. But I would still like to meet at least monthly so we can like see if the plan's working. If it is, you might reach your goals, you might need more goals. If the plan is not working, we might need to figure a new plan or new steps of how to accomplish these goals. So for now, we'll meet every week and we'll go from there. Is that okay with you?
Sounds good, yes.
Awesome. Awesome, we'll arrange to meet next week.
Okay.
Awesome, thank
Thank you.
you.